Fuzzy, this is your forte. So I kind of really want to let you go crazy with this one because, we learned the other day that Forza Horizon 5 has surpassed 43 million players.
Yeah.
And you got to think about that number. First of all, it's a pinch over 4 years. Am I correct in saying so? Did it come out in 2021?
Yes.
2021. So it's going to be 4 years old and 43 million players. Now, granted, I'm sure that there are a lot of people here, in the chat, a lot of people that are, who recently discovered Xbox might have played it through Xbox Game Pass, right? You might have bought it for, you could probably, it's probably dirt cheap right now.
Yeah.
You have to understand, Fuzzy, this is two platforms. It's on PC, it's on Xbox. 43 million players is nothing to seize at. And listen, you know more than anybody on how they've been supporting this game. Let's talk about that number and why it's important.
Well, see, a lot of people will say things like Game Pass destroys gaming and stuff like that. But I remember like that launch weekend, or actually prior to the launch weekend, for like the early access, there were like 4 million players. So that means people either paid the full $100 deal or they did the upgrade. So Microsoft got their fair share of people paying up front. And I'm pretty sure with all the sales that they've had on the game since, that people have picked it up. Like I'm picking it up once it goes below like the $29.99 range for the base part of the game. That's when I pick it up. But they'll probably even reduce it further when it gets closer to being delisted. But having any game that reaches 40 million players is outstanding these days, or any days for that matter. And something that they keep on supporting with free content. Yes, they also do some car packs and things like that, but those are selling as well, because I see quite a few people driving those cars that are exclusive to like those car packs and things in the game. And if you did the upgrade, or if you bought the $100 edition, you get like the car pass as well as a couple of the car packs up front. But this is one of the examples of a games as a service without it being over the top with seasonal fees or charges and things. Like they have like basically 4 weeks or 4 seasons in a month, and you get, typically there's like 5 new cars added. This most recent one, I think they narrowed it down to like 1 or 2, but they have like almost 900 cars, like unique cars in the game at this current moment. I'm about like 823 of them, but having that many cars in like a fictional Mexico area with a lot of different biomes and the ability to make like your own tracks and modes and things like that. Plus they have a hide and seek mode. Plus they have the eliminator, which is like kind of like a battle royale for cars and stuff. All of those modes has definitely garnered that 40 million or 43 million players and kept them interested. Now, I'm pretty sure not all 43 million are playing at one time, but it's still an achievement for Xbox and for Forza Motorsport or Playground Games in particular when it comes to that particular number. Like you don't get too many arcade racers these days because people still want to call them niche with even 20 million players. Like I don't think, what do you call it? What is it? Need for Speed Unbound. I don't think that reached 20 million, or maybe it reached somewhere between 10 and 12 million. But 43 million, there aren't many games doing that. It even like mainstays, like AAA games out there, some of them are struggling to reach 20 million sales. So yeah, it's a great achievement for that team. It's a great achievement for Xbox in general. And I'm looking forward to the next iteration, and we'll get into that in a moment. But like, I think people have to respect what Playground Game has done with the Forza Horizon franchise. Each year each iteration they get better and better and draw more players in. And to have something that you could either play solo or online with friends and have it where it's like a seamless transition, just inviting people into your convoy and stuff like that. It's a fantastic example of what I wish Sony had an arcade racer at this time. Like that's the one thing that they're missing as far as they got rid of Drive Club, or the team that made Drive Club. Actually, I think that was the same team that made Motor Storm. So, with Evolution being gone, it's, they just have GT 7 as their go-to, but not everybody wants to do a sim racing type of thing. So I don't know. I'm just happy that we keep on getting support from that team, and updates and cars and new, like, little placement things that you can add to track creations that you make. I mean, it's had its own Forge system even before Halo had Forge. So it's just a great experience. And if you haven't played it in a while, I strongly recommend giving it a try again, just for the fact that there's a ton more cars. If you're into more customized cars, like things you would see at SEMA, it's well worth the download, or even just cloud streaming it for that matter, because it's that accessible where you could cloud stream it from your phone, a tablet. You could play it on your TV, download it to your Xbox, or if you don't want to take up all that hard drive space, just stream it from your Xbox. But yeah, it's an awesome game. But Forza Horizon 6, let's get into what we think as far as a timeline when we hope to see that one.
Well, look, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can look at this. First of all, Forza Horizon 6, this is just my opinion, folks, is not coming in 2025. There's a couple of reasons for it. One, people continue to flock over to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks amazing, plays amazing, runs amazing. Do I want to see 6? 1,000%. But I kind of wonder, Buzzy, right? In 2023, we got the Sims aspect of with Motorsport, right? It's a looker. There's no doubt about it. Runs amazing on a Series X and Series S. But we know that the next main line is going to be Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah.
With 2025 being as stacked as it is, it just makes too much sense to then push that to 2026. Now, if there's one thing that we've all learned, is when you're going to show off your new shiny piece of hardware, the best way to do that is with a racer, right? Yeah. I mean, that's standard fare. So I personally think that that's the type of game that, you do one of these, hold up, let them cook, and you just let them do what they have to do, and you release it as a launch title, not a launch window. Literally, whenever and there's new information that we're going to get into tomorrow that just broke regarding, a couple of insiders saying that there is hardware coming in 2026. We kind of already knew that, thanks to the legal documents that was where it originally came from. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But does that make sense to you? Not to release it in a year where you have Fable, where you have South of Midnight, where you have 2 different Obsidian RPGs. I say you hold up, you let the studio cook with it, and you let that be a launch title for 2026, because what that ultimately does is really give the team an opportunity to show off what this game looks like from jump. What do you think?
I think that's a definitely what would be like a proven strategy to go with. Like, I think the biggest thing, like you said, when you have that new hardware, you want to show all the bells and whistles that you can with your launch lineup. And having something from Playground Games with like a Horizon title, I think that would be something that would kind of nudge a lot of those that might say, oh, I'll just stick with my Series X or S, even though the game will more than likely still be playable on that console. I think it would still be one of those things where they're going to show you how much more the next gen console can uplift that game visually. They kind of nudge people into doing that upgrade. But yeah, I've always joked like with 2026, it'll be the year of the sixes, although E-Day is not Gear 6. So I still associate it as a 6th installment kind of thing. So you'll have E-Day in 26. You'll have maybe Elder Scrolls in 26. and then Forza Horizon 6 and 26. And I think that's a good way to kind of, stack your lineup for the launch of the next gen console, or have it where maybe these release slightly before the console. So, but that they'll have like all the bells and whistles turned on for that next gen hardware to show off what it can do. And those games will definitely be standing examples, like Playground Games, Coalition, and the Bethesda team. They can all, well, maybe not visually on the Bethesda side, but they've gotten a lot better with Starfield and the Creation 2 engine and stuff. But I would say the overall depth of that game is going to be taxing that hardware for the next gen. But man, 2026 sounds like a better plan. 2025, I wouldn't have time to play it. And especially if Outer Worlds 2, because I'm a bit of a sci-fi nut as well. Yeah, I don't want to have to bide my time between those two titles. Or if State of Decay 3 winds up pushing up to 26, I think it might be a 27 or maybe a late 26 game, but it's still already going to be a bit of a stacked deck even for 26. But 25 is already, I wouldn't say overloaded, but pretty close to it.
Look, we already know what 2025 is going to levy regarding first party. And we already know confirmed 6 games, right? Mm-hmm. 6 games. I believe more than half of them are exclusive to the box, at least for now. How long that lasts, I don't give a shit anymore. I've done caring. Don't take something away from me and give it to PlayStation. If that happens, then I have a problem. I literally just re-upped because I had a 3-month gap. I wound up picking, I told you guys, I picked it up the other day, $29.29 for 3 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is still under $10 a month. By pennies, yes, but it's under $10 a month. And I got it from CD Keys. I'm officially good until January 7th, 2028. Like, let's effing go, man. I mean, like, I'm going to be eating good in the neighborhood for years. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to keep that weight off. I'm eating so much. It's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, look, I could not be happier for Playground Games. This is a tremendous accomplishment. And it's 43 million players across 4 years and only 2 platforms. Like this, again, it's not available on PlayStation, or at least not yet anyway. It's not available on the Switch 2, which it may be, who knows. But for right now, it's available only on Xbox Series XS and, of course, PC. And that's a really, really big deal. And that's a tremendous number. Again, it just goes to show you how great this game is, that it still has legs all of these years later. And that's something. And obviously, I mean, you see, first of all, I haven't played in a while, and I haven't recorded any footage for people to break my balls of my driving. I will do some actual races and record them so I don't get, the virtual tomatoes thrown at me by the community. But look, this is again, small topic to open up the show, folks. I think it was well worth the opportunity to talk about because, again, it is Fuzzy Belvedere's forte. And if anyone is, how many cards did you say you have? 823? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Wow. I got 823 out of the 9 or just under 900 that they have now. About 60 or 70 of them are in those additional car packs that they've added. And I haven't purchased those yet because I'm waiting until they do a bundle for,
like $20 to get every car. Wow, that's something else. That's something else. Well, listen, again, it's the gift that keeps giving, especially if you're a racing fan and more so an arcade racing fan, which is what I am. I don't mind the Sims. They're not my first go-to. I do prefer an arcade racer, but big numbers.